I'd like to open. I'd like to open the Thursday, May 27th, 2021 Bellingham Planning Board meeting. Jim, can you give us an update on the Zoom aspects for this meeting? First of all, we're meeting via Zoom.
Yep, absolutely. So currently, we're still in the governor's order. So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting will be held via the Zoom online option. You can see more information and instructions on how to attend at the end of the agenda and online at the town website. And obviously we'll be talking more about our next steps for open meeting towards the end of the meeting.
First item on the agenda this evening is the public hearing for 190 Farm Street. They have requested continuance to June 10th in order to add some context to the request to complete an updated sound analysis. Do I have a motion to extend a continuance to June 10th?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Jim, do you think they'll be ready on the 10th?
All indications is yes, they should be ready June 10th, yes.
Okay.
Which one are you voting on?
190 Farm Street.
Okay.
All in favor of a continuance to June 10th for 190 Farm Street, please signify by saying aye.
That's the asphalt company?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Motion passes in a vote of 4-1. The next item on the agenda is the continuance of the public hearing for 455 Hartford Avenue. The owner has requested a continuance also to June 10th. The applicant, I believe, is in attendance, or his lawyer.
Yes, I see Bob Duff here. He is muted at the moment. He's their engineer.
Good evening, Robert Duff with Gary and Halmon, representing the owners. Yes, we are in front of you to request an extension to the June 10th meeting at this time, where we haven't have the plans aren't prepared yet for resubmission.
Okay. We have a decision deadline on this item of June 25th. I'm wondering if it's appropriate we may have to extend that deadline if we vote for continuance. I'm just wondering, are you going to need more time?
For submission of the pack,
Yes, sir.
we're intending to try to get on to the June 10th meeting, understanding through Jim that the plans and such have to be submitted by the Friday prior.
Okay. Jim, your feeling on the 10th?
Yeah, my concern with the 10th is that, so we haven't had any opportunity to vet through peer review any of these plans. So obviously, you know, historically the board likes to receive the plans and have some momentum going with our engineers providing guidance in terms of stormwater and traffic. So, I mean, my recommendation would be the following meeting, so that if in fact they were able to get that plan in, we could get our peer review engineer going and have something really substantive to talk about on the 24th.
I agree.
Just for the record, Mr. Chairman, we are in front of conservation on this, and they have started the peer review through BSC, just so you're aware of that.
I understand that.
Okay.
At this point in time, we don't have anything, you know, peer review.
On your end, understood, sir.
So, you know, I don't want to waste the applicant's time or the board's time. I think we have a busy agenda on the 10th already. So I agree that it may be better to push this off to the second meeting in June.
The June 24th, that's fine, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a motion to provide a continuance to 455 Hartford Avenue until June 25th?
So moved.
Just a correction, just June 24th. Correct.
June 24th, excuse me.
Second?
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. I just want to clarify for the applicant, on the 24th, we will be dealing with a decision deadline currently for June 25th.
Understood. So we'll be looking for an extension of that.
Probably based on what
Excuse me.
you provide to us in the 24th, that may be applicable. It will probably be applicable.
Understood.
All right. Mr. Duff, thank you very much for coming.
All right. Thank you, people, for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Jim, we have a Railroad Street A&R. Do
Yes.
you want to bring that up, or can we discuss it?
Yeah, 1 second here. So it is a new public hearing. Let me just pull that up real
We need to
quick.
make a motion to open the public hearing.
All right, if I could quickly just read the public hearing notice. 1 second. All right, in accordance with the Town of Bellingham zoning bylaws, section 240-38 backlot division, the planning board will hold a public hearing on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the arcade meeting room in the Municipal Center and the virtual meeting room option found on the town's website at bellinghamma.org. The general public may participate by utilizing the virtual meeting option found on the Town of Bellingham website. The applicant and owner is Thomas Burr and Robin DeCasa. Request a special permit to subdivide a parcel of land, one of which has less than the required frontage at the southern side of Railroad Street in Bellingham, approximately 19 plus or minus acres of land shown on Assessor's Map 80-12A zoned agriculture. The plans were prepared by Land Planning Inc., 167 Hartford Avenue, Bellingham, Mass. The application and plans may be viewed at the Planning and Zoning Office or Town Clerk's Office, Municipal Center during regular town hall business hours. For questions, please contact the town planner. May I have a motion to open the hearing?
To move forward, I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
75 Railroad Street.
Second.
All in favor of opening the public hearing on 75 Railroad Street, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Is the applicant here, Jim?
So yeah, so Bill Halsing from Land Planning, I believe, is representing the applicant. And Bill, I've given you the opportunity to share screen. Are you able to pull up the plan?
Yes, I would like to do that, Jim.
You should be able to now.
I'm just going to find which screen we are in here. Let's see. All right, good evening, everyone. Bill Halsing from Land Planning, representing Tom Burr and Robin DeCassi. Can you guys see my screen? I'm showing the assessor's map.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
The property that we're talking about is this one right here, lot 12A on Railroad Street, just westerly of Lake Street and easterly of Park Street. Currently, there's a sawmill out there that the Burr family has used for many, many years, I believe. Now, let me just kind of zoom out here. Okay. Now, is everyone seeing the plan?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, this is the division we're looking at doing. Lots 1 and 2 are lots that meet full zoning requirements, frontage area, lot shape factor. Lot 3 would be the reduced frontage lot for the back lot division. It has the minimum of 50 feet, has 136 feet. Twice the area where it's greater than 100 feet wide. Holds the 200 by 200 square, which is the required frontage. Egress and ingress all certainly fine for lots in the neighborhood. And we're looking at dividing off a parcel A that Tom and Kimberly would assume ownership of. They live next door. Peters River runs to the westerly side of the property, right in here. And there's an associated wetland and an associated river resource area right along through here. So to address some of that, we're proposing a driveway easement to lot 3 that goes between lots 1 and 2. So we'll have minimum disturbance within any resource areas. House for lot 1 would probably go in the center, lot 2 here, and lot 3 would be back in here. Yeah, each lot meets, area requirements. The whole property is about 19 acres. I think that sums it up.
Before I open up to the board, Jim, how does it comply with section 240-38?
Yeah, so I reviewed the plan in accordance with the backlot section, and it does meet each of those sections. We can go over them if you like, but yes, I've gone over this with Mr. Halsing, and it does in fact meet those requirements.
And before I ask, open up for questions, sir, the driveway, that will be a private driveway, correct?
You are correct. It would be an easement, private driveway, and utilities.
Okay. I'd like to open up to questions from the board. Brian?
My only question would be, maybe this is for Jim, the 200 by 200 foot square, is there any requirement that it can't be in wetlands? Or is it just anywhere?
It's just the boundary of the property. Though, I mean, if you ask, we could certainly have Mr. Halsing move it up a couple inches, but yeah, no, there is no requirement for, in terms of wetlands. Ultimately, the parcel has to be 90% upland, which it does as well.
Okay. I have no other questions. Thank you.
Dennis?
Yeah, I didn't quite hear them, but all single-family homes?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Liz?
I have no questions at this time.
Rob?
I also have no questions at this time. Thank you.
Phil?
Question to Jim. Jim, the easement through the other property, I mean, this more or less is no real frontage that's going to be used for the back lot. Does that comply with the Bellingham zoning rules?
Yeah, so what it is doing, there is frontage. There's more than the 50 feet of frontage, so that's the requirement, is 50 feet. And then, the easement, yes, that's kind of outside of zoning. That's just a private agreement between two parties. And so a back lot can go up to 3 lots. So that's why I imagine they stopped at these 3.
Okay, the other, I guess a question for the applicant, the parcel A, is that going to, is there any access to parcel A?
Well, parcel A is not a building lot, and it's going to become
another-
part of the abutters property.
It's going to be, okay, so you got future plans to include that on another lot.
Yeah, Tom and Kim live next door, and it's going to be conveyed to them.
And obviously,
Okay.
a copy of that conveyance.
I didn't get that.
We'll get a copy of the conveyance.
I don't see why not. Sure, we can do that.
My other question, sir, I'm going back to something that Brian said. Based on the 200 square foot area you have here, it may be appropriate to move it up a little bit as you get away from the areas that impact, Pete's River and the wetlands.
Yeah, we can certainly move the square up. It's just a demonstration to show it.
I
but-
understand,
Absolutely.
but just perhaps to increase comfort level of people and potentially the abutters or the general public.
Sure, we can do that.
Any other questions from the board? I'd like it open. I don't see I can't pull everyone's name up. Anyone here from the public want to talk about this?
Yes, my name is Roland Lavely. I just have 2 questions.
So address, sir?
I live at 6 Joseph Rosenfeld Way.
Okay,
I'm an abutter to the abutter.
okay.
Right, so I have 2 questions. One is kind of a funky question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So the property that Tom and Kimberly Burr live on, was that originally a backlot subdivision? Because they don't have the frontage.
I'm sorry, Roland, do you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, the question is that the property that Tom and Kimberly Burr live on, was that originally a backlot subdivision of this bigger parcel? Because it doesn't seem like they have anywhere near 200 feet of frontage.
So you're referring to the property north, or is it north, east of this lot 1?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not certain myself as to what the history of that was.
Because it just seems kind of, when Bill pulled up the assessors map, it looks like it's probably not much frontage at all. And I was curious about that. The other thing that I was curious about, and I think the applicants can probably answer this, when this says parcel A is not a building lot, what does that mean? Does that mean there's no intent to build there at all, or would this be possibly subject to another backlot subdivision?
Not subject to another back lot. It can't be built on by itself. It doesn't have any frontage.
Well, it could get it from Tom and Kimberly. Okay. Guess we don't have any answers to that.
Not part of the proposal tonight, but yeah. That would have to come before the planning board if that were the case anyway.
Okay. Okay, I guess those are the only questions that I have. I'm not really opposed to what's being proposed, other than I'd like to understand what's going to happen to parcel A that's going to end up as some kind of a subdivision, and but that's about it. Other than that, the 3 lots that are being proposed, from what I can see, are fine.
Jim, I have a question based on what Mr. LaValle said. Can we put any conditions on this that remain unbuildable parcel A?
Well, it is a special permit for these 3 lots. I mean, parcel A, I mean, I don't know what the conditions would be. We could certainly think about it and discuss a little more with the applicant and their future intentions there. But, aside from lot 3 being a back lot, I mean, they could do 1 and 2 and convey the balance and, to Thomas and Kimberly. But that's not what's being proposed right now.
All right. Any other board members have any questions? Anyone else from the public?
Wait, excuse me, Bill, can I ask one question? Jim, what could go on parcel A? Is it just 3 houses basically, or?
Well, parcel A, I think we wouldn't know enough right now based on this plan. I mean, it's going to be contiguous to a lot of other upland, but as you kind of get hints of this with this plan. It appears to be extremely wet at times on this lot. So, I mean, it could very likely be additional lot area for potential building lots in the future, I'm sure. But how much of it is upland, I couldn't tell you based on this plan.
I guess my concern is I don't want to backdoor into some sort of larger subdivision through sort of a loophole if there's ability to understand what we're getting ourselves into. But
Well, if I could just jump in for a second, Jim's absolutely right. There's a lot of wetlands in parcel A, and I would not deem it as prime building land by any means.
So, Brian, I think what will be reflected in the minutes is that the applicant at this point in time has indicated, I'm sorry, the applicant through his engineer has indicated that number one, it's not prime building. And number two, the applicant has no desires at this point to do anything with parcel A that will be conveyed to the neighbors. Am I correct, Jim, that will be expressed in the minutes?
That's what you like, absolutely.
Brian, would that address your concern?
not really, and I mean, the minutes don't mean a thing.
I understand.
And they won't, no one will think to read them, and if it's not part of the decision, they don't count. And I don't want to create a problem where there is none either. I just don't want, if there's an opportunity to think through the logical or potential consequences or what might happen, it strikes me that this would be the time to think through that. But again, it's not, I don't want to create problems where there are none. So whatever everybody else thinks, I'm fine with.
I think right now the scope that's been raised about down the road goes beyond what is being discussed tonight. Jim, is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, parcel A is kind of an afterthought to this back lot. I mean, it's definitely good to think, long-term as to the ramifications in the future. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of land on Lake Street and opportunities for development, I'm sure. But I mean, to be fair to the applicant here, they could have easily, carved off parcel A without having to do anything. I mean, it could have been just an A&R submitted for parcel A separately and handed off to the neighbor and then come back with this 3-lot subdivision. This is kind of just the balance of the land. And so they, for the back lot, they meet each of the lot 1 is the 2-acre zoning, lot 2 is the 2-acre zoning, lot 3 is double per our back lot subdivision requirements.
So Brian, right now it does meet the requirements outlined in section 240-38. Although I don't like to use the word outlier. Parcel A right now is an outlier based on the information presented to us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not looking to cause trouble or to create problems where there are none. I just thought it was an opportunity to just have that discussion. So that's fine.
I appreciate the concern raised by Mr. Lavalier, but I think it goes beyond the parameters of what we're discussing tonight. And it's something down the road that we don't know what will happen. While we may seem it's determined to be unbuildable now, as time goes on, that could change. But right now, we're just simply looking at a backlot subdivision.
Can I ask the applicant one question, if you don't mind, Bill?
Sure.
No, not at all.
Bill, have you been retained in any way with regard to parcel A and the other, the abutters in developing that parcel in the future?
No, I have not.
Okay.
And, our discussions, we, first started this was to leave it as, part of Lot 3. But we're, Tom and Kim live next door. This has been family property for eons. They just wanted to retain ownership of it.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Anyone else in the public?
Bill, can I actually ask a question? This is Rob Luce here.
Absolutely.
All right. I think this is a question to Bill Housing. Just quick question. The limits of the wetlands that are shown on the A&R, where are those from? Was there any delineation on the property previously or?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a wetland delineation and surveyed the location. So those are good locations.
Okay. All right. They didn't match the Mass GIS wetlands, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a major surprise.
No, absolutely not. That makes sense. Okay, that's all I had.
Would anyone like to make a motion, please?
So,
If the board has exhausted their review, obviously the backlot is a much simpler process than some of these other projects. I may recommend that you simply were to close the hearing first, and then if the board is looking favorable at this, perhaps just recommending that I draft a decision for your consideration at the next meeting.
Okay. What I'd like to do is ask for a motion to close the public hearing, unless anyone else wants to chime in.
so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any other discussion? There's a motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion to approve the backlot special permit for 75 Railroad Street, please signify by saying aye.
So it's a motion to just close the public hearing, just so.
Oh,
it's
I'm
clear.
sorry, I'm definitely ahead of myself, excuse me. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion passes. I will now need a motion for Jim to draft a favorable decision.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
We have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded to draft a favorable decision, 75 Railroad Street, backlot special permit. Jim, what would the conditions be?
Well, that will be for your consideration at the next meeting, but I'll go down the backlot subdivision requirements and spell it out based on our discussion here. And you could certainly add or subtract at the next meeting.
And do I need a motion to continue this to the next hearing, or is that?
No, we're closed, so well, actually,
sorry.
let's go ahead and button it up, might as well, June 10th.
Okay, so again, I was out of order, and I apologize. Before we vote on the backlot special permit, I would like a motion to extend the public hearing to the continuance to June 10th meeting.
Jim, is that what we're doing, or we don't need to
I think we have to
reopen the hearing? Do we?
technically
No, it's not. So you've closed the hearing, but you would like for my a favorable draft decision to be considered out on June 10th.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
So I'll accept that amendment to my motion.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion passes, and it will be discussed at our next meeting on June 10th. I want to thank the applicant and the neighbors for showing up this evening. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you for your input.
Right, and thank you for hearing us.
Best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's thank you for attending.
All right, so I do have some general business for you guys tonight. Before Bill goes too far, if you guys want to see anything further on the A&R for Railroad Street, it's a similar plan or same plan, just again carving off those by right lots. When he submitted, I asked for him to do it concurrently so that we could move through the process of the special permit and the A&R. Bill, I think it makes logical sense, though, to have your decision in hand for the back lot when the board signs the A&R, if you agree.
Good with me.
So if the board wants to hold off on making a motion to sign that one until you guys have considered that draft decision.
I think it's appropriate based on the discussion tonight to hold off until we see the draft decision.
Yep. Excellent. Okay.
So it'll be passed over.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, thank you. You guys.
All right.
good with me?
Yeah, I think you're all set.
Thank you, Bill.
Good night.
Good night.
So I do have two other plans for you guys to for consideration of signing. One is I think everyone was pretty much there last night at town meeting. We accepted the road of Connor Lane, and so we need to sign that Mylar so that can get recorded at the registry of deeds. So if there is a motion to sign that, and we'll have it set up in our office for you to stop by. It's not a rush. Anytime, probably next week is more than fine.
So moved.
Have a
Second,
second.
second.
All in favor of the motion to sign the Mylar for Connor Road? Please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion passes.
And in addition, I have another plan for Bellingham Shores. I can pull it up if anybody wants. It's just simply the previous approval for Bellingham Shores. It's called the lotting plan. And so that this will allow for them to record the lots themselves at the registry of deeds. It's not for, acceptance of roads like we just did for Connor Lane. It's just kind of setting up the parameters at the registry, more or less so that everyone's on the same page there. I can pull it up if anybody wants, but it's just simply the lot lines that were approved previously by the board.
I have no questions. Brian?
Nope, Jim's fine with it. I'm fine with it.
It is 13. It is 13 pages, so bring a good pen.
Oh, no. I'll delegate my signing authority to Jim.
I don't think that's allowed by the governor.
Yeah. I'll move to approve or sign the, whatever that is, Jim.
Yep. Move to sign the lotting plan for Bellingham
Shore
Shores.
subdivision lot plan.
Yes, please.
This motion on the floor has been seconded.
Second,
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all. We'll have that also set up at our office for signature whenever you have some time.
We also need to vote on past minutes. Have we all had a chance to look at the minutes?
I had a couple of suggestions, and I gotta find it now. On the April 27th minutes. Just typos, really. At the top of page 4, it says he recommended the word defensive. It should be offensive.
Got it. Thank you.
And then the next sentence, it says be added before it says work odor. It should say word odor.
That's a good one. Yep.
I think that's it for this one.
Any other comments? So based on the additions tonight that Brian noted and that Amy has corrected, I'll need a motion to approve the minutes. We discussed the April 27th meeting. All in favor of approving the minutes from the April 27th meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So I agree, but we never made a motion
Okay.
for those watching along.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the April 27th meeting. I thought that was, your motion was in 2 comments, Brian.
Can we do them en masse, or is it just do
No,
one?
I wouldn't, I don't want to do that.
Okay, so so moved.
Do I have a second?
Right.
So a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from April 27th with the corrections that we discussed this evening. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. I want to go back to Thursday, April 22nd minutes. Does anyone have any questions?
So I'll move to approve the April 22nd minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from Thursday, April 22nd. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Before we discuss the minutes from Thursday, May 13th, Amy, outstanding job. There was a lot there,
Thank you.
a real lot. I just wanted to let you know, appreciate of those minutes as other minutes, but this was impressive. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the Thursday, May 13th meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor that's made and seconded for the Thursday, May 13th meeting minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Jim, I think the next item for us, our discussion is the new meeting changes.
Yep. Yeah, so that's all I have left here is just simply, it's still kind of in flux, but based on everything that we've heard to date, on the June 15th, the governor is releasing the state of emergency, which means everything's gone away and we're back to our normal routine. However, the governor has been working on legislation to extend certain parameters of that emergency. And one of which is the open meeting law and allowing for additional uses of things like Zoom to count towards a quorum. My thought is, after June 15th, I'll have it set up back in the room. However, we'll still allow for, the public and anyone else who would like to join via Zoom. And this would be an opportunity too for board members who, maybe just can't make it to the town hall that evening until the governor completely eliminates the opportunity to utilize it. It's available to us. So if everyone's comfortable with it after June 15th, we'll be back in person, but still leave that Zoom option.
Jim, do you anticipate a decision by our next meeting?
It's probably going to bump right up to that June 15th, I'm guessing. But as soon as I hear back, I'll certainly be sending it around.
Okay. And the number of attendees permitted in town hall would be?
There is no capacity limitation anymore, so obviously that could be a concern.
Other than the capacity of the room itself, correct?
Right, exactly. Which is somewhere, I believe it's somewhere in the 50s range. So it's not something I would think in a normal circumstance we want 50 people in there.
Anything else for this evening?
That's all I have for you guys.
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Jim, can I ask a question before we close? One of the things I used to like is getting a package with, a full package. Are we gonna go back to that, or drawings and things like that?
Yeah, I think when we're back in person, yeah, we certainly can start printing them off again and all that. Although, you know, please let us know if you prefer electronic. Obviously, you know, if we don't need to print it, we don't need to print it. So please let Amy know. She'll be printing off the packets again and probably leaving them at the police station. The police station hasn't actually been open for the most part to the general public. But yeah, we'll be getting back to that.
And to follow up on that, Jim, is presentations are made to us. In the past, we've had hard copies in front of us at live meetings. Will that continue?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If the board's there, you know, the applicant should certainly be there. The public, on the other hand, I think this will be an opportunity for them to be able to participate more because they wouldn't have to come, you know, on a 70-degree night in summertime. They can just log on from their home, hopefully.
So we'll be back to somewhat normal procedures that we had prior to COVID for looking at material that night that's been updated. Any other questions about the future meetings and materials to be presented to us?
So for planning, just the next meeting will be like this then, right?
Correct.
That's right. Yeah. June 10th will be just like this.
Okay. Very good.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Whatever, would speak at once. All in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, we're adjourned. Brian,
Good night, Bellingham.
Thank you guys.
hope you all and have an enjoyable holiday weekend. Thank you.
Yeah.